Hey, good morning. It's Jim with Paddlefire Outdoors. We're going to do some fishing this morning. I'm going to show you the plan. We're going to go out, try to hunt us down a mullet. I brought my bow. I'll show you that. I've got my bow on the back of the kayak there. That bow is rigged for fishing. And so we're going to go out to a couple of docks in a little flats area where I see mullet all the time, and we're going to see if we can shoot us one. We're going to use that for cut bait, and then we're going to go out and we're going to fish for some redfish. This morning we're on a real high tide. Slack tide is in about an hour, so we got about an hour to find us a mullet. And then we're going to go, and we have a wind coming out of the east this morning. There's barely any wind, but what wind there is coming out of the east. And there's going to be a nice outgoing tide after about 9:15 this morning. And so we're going to fish that outgoing tide along some mangroves where the wind is pushing up against the mangroves. There's a channel and some flats. We're going to do that with live bait. If I can't find a mullet, I do have a few crabs that we're going to use as backup, and worst case scenario, we'll use some artificials and go catch some trout. Let me show you the map this morning. So here's our map this morning, and here's our plan. These mangroves right here, this is a pass. This is a big pass out to the Gulf. North is to our left, east is up. So we're going to fish right off this pass near this little bank of mangroves here. There's a channel, a boat channel. There's a series of flats out here, and then mangroves along here. We're going to fish that cut mullet right along those mangroves and see what we can find. Here we go. We're going to head over to some docks right next to adjacent to a little flats area. I see a lot of mullet over there when I'm fishing. A lot of them hiding under the docks a lot of times. So we're going to head that way and see if we can't get one. So we're in a flats area. Woo. I see some mullet jumping over here. We're going to go give it a try. Man, there's a ton of them, but they're all little ones. Missed them. Okay, so there are mullet jumping all over this morning, but we're going to head over to the docks down here where I know I've often seen large mullet, and that's what I want. I want a large one, cut them up for live bait, so we're going to head over there. Okay, here's the dock. I already see some jumping, so we are just going to cruise along here. See if we can find one. There's a sheep's head right there. There's some big mullet right there. All right, let's see if we got one. Oh my gosh, they are stacked. They are stacked over there. Right here. Holy cow. Here we go. Well, that's it. I knew that was going to happen. So the little catch screw on the arrow had broken off this morning, and I knew I was going to be limited to the amount of shots I had, and that was the last one. Well, what are you going to do? Broken equipment. I knew I was only going to get 1 or 2 shots because the only thing keeping that ring on the arrow connected, you know, the ring connected to the string, was there's supposed to be a little set screw in there. It fell off this morning. I had no way to put it back on, so the plastic knock was the only thing keeping it on the shaft, and that last shot just broke it right off. So unfortunately I can't shoot a mullet, but always have a backup. Like I said, I got a few crabs. We're going to use those and give those a try, see if we can't catch some redfish. I did see a lot of sheep's head along these docks, so I might, as we're cruising back, go into the mangrove spot I talked about. We might try for some sheep's head. Let me show you what we got going on here. So this is the west mangrove bank on the west bank of the bay. What wind we do have is coming out of the east, so the wind is pushing against these mangroves. What we have is we've got a little point over here. We've got a little inlet over here. I can see there's some mullet swimming here. There's a channel, a boat channel. And then this is shallow flats normally. It's high tide right now, so it's pretty deep. And then behind me I have a shallow flats as well. There's also a little creek mouth over there. So I have seen redfish swimming, big redfish swimming along this bank here. So what we're going to use today is we're going to use some crab. I did want to show you though, I did learn to tie an FG knot. And so I'm going to be using those today, because if you saw my last video, you saw how many break-offs I had when big fish got hooked up. So we'll see what this does. We'll kind of review and judge this today. Also using about a 3/0, maybe a 4/0 hook, and we're going to use some crabs. So that's what we're using today. Apparently they call that a pass crab or something of that effect. We're going to cut him up and use him half and half, and toss a line over by the point, toss a line over by the inlet. We'll see what happens. This current seems to be moving pretty good, which is a good thing. What is this? It's a snook. Nice, that was a surprise. That was a surprise. There you go. All right, thank you, buddy. Appreciate the catch. See ya. Wow, that was a surprise. I caught that little flounder over there by the dock, and I was just bouncing a shrimp with a little red jig head along the bottom, and he didn't even really pounce on it or grab it. He just kind of slowly took it and really didn't even fight that hard. But wow, that was a surprise. I'm really glad for that catch. Look, we got our friend the manatee here today. He's come to visit. All right, I'm just drifting across the channel now from the flats into the channel back toward the mangroves there. I'm seeing stuff on the depth finder, getting some nibbles, so we'll see what's under there. It's like 102 degrees out here. It is so hot right now, but I'm just jigging across the channel. Well, there you go. Something bit him in half. It's got to be something with teeth. Put a new shrimp on and we're going to go get him. Well, I think that's going to be the end of our trip today. It's just after 1 o'clock. We're expecting some rain in the next hour. And that weather this week has really been sneaking up quick into turning into some very big lightning and thunderstorms. So I'm going to head in. Had a good trip, enjoyable day. It is very, very hot. It's like over 100 degrees right now. So I'll be glad to get in the air conditioning. But caught a little flounder, caught a good sized snook. That was a surprise, and caught that little teeny grouper. So that's it. Thanks for joining me today. We'll see you next time.